Hooray! You're going on holiday, except you're going on holiday with a baby. So actually what you're doing is you're transferring yourself to a more extreme climate where things are more likely to go wrong. However, if you pack right, you can at least have a slightly enjoyable time. So let's start with the suitcase. The thing to remember is that even if you haven't bought a seat for your child, they still have a suitcase allowance. I don't know where you're going or what your itinerary is, so I'm not going to tell you what clothes to pack. That's up to you. Also, remember, in your change bag, take everything you would normally. These are just the travel essentials that I'm telling you about. Right, so let's start with nappies. Nappies are going to take up most of your change bag, but they are useful, obviously, because you don't know wherever you're going. I have friends that have been to resorts and they found that they go to the resort shop and they don't have any nappies in their baby's size, or they do and they're going to charge you $25 for like 10, which is ludicrous. So take as many nappies as you need. Swim nappies, just take one packet. As long as the baby doesn't do a number 2 in them, you can just dry them out and use them again. I know it's slightly cheap, but you know, what the hell. Talking of swimming, armbands. I think a lot of people don't realise you can put a child in armbands from 6 months, and that's what I did with my daughter. It takes some getting used to, but it's a really nice thing to see a baby sort of independent and happy, especially if they're not walking yet or crawling. So take some armbands. In terms of swimsuits, I love just these because they're also sunsuits. The last thing you want to do is have sunburn. So let's move on to the suntan cream quickly. I always go with BOOTS SOLTAN, factor 50, and I always go for the sensitive type, and I take about 3 of these with me. Now, if you have a child like mine, they're not going to keep a hat on, so I tend to buy hats like this, which are from Jojo Maman Bébé, which you can go online, that I can sort of secure around the neck. Or even better, this hat, which is again from Jojo, is made of swimming costume material. And what I do is when I take my daughter into the pool, I put it on her head and she can't take it off because she's using her hands to swim. And then she eventually forgets about it. And then bingo, we have a hat on all day. Hooray! Shoes, Crocs. I'm not a fan of Crocs for the adult, but for the child, they're brilliant. They can walk in the sea with these, on pebbles, everything. They're just really ace. Also, let's talk about sunglasses. There's really nothing better than baby sunglasses. These are my daughters. They're by a company called BANZ, and I just got them off Amazon. And the really great thing is, again, you can strap them to their head and adjust them and they can't get them off. Now, other thing for the beach quickly, I always take this beach shelter with me. This is by a company called UTTLELIFE. I'm not going to get it out here because that'll bore you to watch me putting up a tent, but it's really simple and easy. And the thing I love about this is that baby can sit in it and be protected by the sun while you sit perhaps on the beach and try and soak up some rays. What about taking liquids on the flight? Because you'll probably want to make up a baby bottle and stuff. Now, technically, security should allow you to take through baby formula over 100 mils, but they're sometimes a bit funny. So I like to err on the side of caution. And what I do is I go on the BOOTS website and I pre-order formula that I can then pick up airside at the BOOTS there. And that's a really top tip, and a lot of my friends use it as well. The other top tip, because I don't want to lug a sterilizer around, I have very little space as it is, I buy these. They're disposable sterilizer bags. You can buy them from BOOTS. This is a pack of 7. I take one of them on the flight with me. So you just open this up and you go and ask the lovely cabin crew if they will fill the bag up to there. And then you can see the sterilising tablets. And then you can just leave it in the galley with your bottle sterilising on the flight. The other great thing about these is when you're on holiday, you can put sort of fetid, probably not disease-ridden, but you can put any type of water in them and they'll still sterilise your bottles. So that's really useful if you're going somewhere super exotic. Lucky you. Well, we're on the subject of food. I always take loads of things like raisins and biscuits in my hand luggage to try and keep the child happy. I don't know how exotic a place you're going to, but you might want to take, just in case the food doesn't agree with your child, a few sachets of Ella's Kitchen or whatever other liquid brand of food you have. Just a bit of advice, put them in a plastic bag in case the air pressure on the plane causes them to explode everywhere. Now, the most important thing, I think, is to be prepared on a first aid level. Probably nothing's going to go wrong, right? Okay, but just in case. Always, always, always Calpol sachets. Brilliant. Can't get enough of them. But the baby can get enough of them, so follow the instructions. Pseudocreme, actually this is not so much for nappy rash, but for sunburn, because you can use it to treat that if the worst comes to the worst. Nappy rash does tend to happen because they're sort of wet and cloying the whole time. And I think the best thing for nappy rash is METANIUM. It really, really, really works. So take some of that. Thermometer, I take this everywhere with me. It reassures me that my daughter's okay, basically. Mosquito repellent, you can buy this from Boots. That's for babies as young as 6 months. If your baby is younger than that, you can always go on Amazon and buy a portable mozzie net to put over the travel cot. Speaking of travel cots, there is another video on One Fat Mother which shows you how to put them up and put them down, so do watch that. I like to take a nasal spray, saline, just in case they pick up a cold on the plane. I love Burt's Bees, this moisturising thing. It's just lovely. If they're in and out of chlorinated pools all the time, this is just nice on their skin. Teething gel, always. I take an Avent room thermometer. Suntan cream, I find with all the water and sweat and stuff, it can go in their eyes. So I always take a pack of DENTINOX eye wipes, and you can just get those in Sainsbury's or Boots. And finally, I do tend to actually pack quite light with the baby, because if you're going somewhere hot, they spend most of their day in those swimsuits. So I tend to take sort of 5 t-shirts, trousers, dresses, that kind of thing. And then I take travel wash. So if there are any accidents on grow bags or blankies, I can just wash and hang outside. So you're good to go. Have the time of your life. Send us a postcard. Let me know in the comments below what you take, what your holiday essentials are. And don't forget that in your hand luggage, you're going to have to take everything you usually do in your change bag. You can watch a video here which explains all your change bag essentials. And it would be great if you subscribe to One Fat Mother for more fun, functional parenting advice.